Welcome to the Dragon's Library. Today we are going to be going over my echo farming guide, which largely revolves around this screen you see here, which is your echo slash databank screen, but we'll go ahead and get into that in a minute. First, we are going to start with why should you be farming echoes? What purpose do they serve in the game? So let me go ahead and go over to my resonators and show you. So, in Woowa, you do have your normal weapons and stuff. And as you can see here, this character has pretty good stats. But a lot of these stats do not come exclusively from the character's base stats or weapons. Just like how there's gear pieces in RPGs, you have echoes in Wuthering Waves. There's different versions of echoes in plenty of other gacha games. Echoes, at least at the gold tier anyways, have 25 levels. Every 5 levels, you can tune for a stat, and then which stat you get is RNG, but there is ways to make this easier that we will get into later. But the main reason you're doing this is to increase your damage. Okay, when should you be farming echoes? Let me go ahead and head back over to the databank screen to go ahead and show you guys some important information. So, you can start farming them as early as, well, let me phrase that. You don't want to prioritize farming echoes until you're at databank level 15, because as you can see here, this is when you can finally start getting gold echoes. If you drop down to 14, you can't get golds yet. So 15 is the earliest. And then this becomes more efficient as you get closer to 21. After you hit level 21 here, this hits max efficiency. There's not any stat changes as far as I can tell after that point. And then I'm pretty sure level 21 is also your cost limit max. Oh, never mind. You hit your cost limit max prior to that. But next, how do you level the data bank? This is pretty simple. If I go ahead and hop back in here, I don't know why I left it. And you look at how I have all these echoes revealed here. Uh, Pretty much what you're gonna do is you're gonna go around in the open world or do tacit fields, though I recommend open world for this because you'll also want to get a lot of the asteroids from the open world. Every time you get an echo, uh, is if it's one you haven't had yet, or it's a higher rarity of one that you've had, you get databank XP. And if it's a higher tier and you've never had it before, so let's say you're getting it for the first time and it's already gold, that will auto give you all the XP that you can possibly get from that echo because it auto completes all the lower tiers, giving you all their XP as well. Next, let's go ahead and talk about which echoes to farm for your character. Let me go ahead and swap windows for you guys real quick. Okay, so now let me go ahead and show you this real quick. So, after you decide which character you want to know how to build, they have a version of this in-game, but I personally prefer using this website, especially if you don't have two monitors. It's easier to pull it up on your screen or be able to see it at the same time that you're rolling echoes and such. You hit on the character that you want to build, so let's do a common character. Let's say Shorekeeper here. Okay. You go ahead and scroll down, best echo sets. This is going to show you the best for cost echo here. And then if you scroll down, it's also going to go ahead and show you the best echo sets. The colors might be slightly off because I have my stuff to auto dark mode, but it's going to be the correct set, the correct main echo, and the best weapons and stuff. This will help you kind of get in the right spot for what you need to be farming. But now let me go ahead and head back into the game so I can go ahead and show you some more stuff. Okay, we are now back in the game here. I just went over which echoes to farm. How should you farm echoes? So there is two main ways that you farm echoes. There's one way that does not cost energy, but it's heavily inefficient. And then there's one other way that doesn't cost energy, but it can only be done once a week. At least to get all the rewards, you might be able to go back in to farm more echoes. I'm not 100% sure because I haven't really done it more than once to get the rewards because tacit fields are faster. So first is tacit suppression, as you can see here. So every one of these is at like a specific location or portal or just open world location on the map that drops specific echoes after you kill the enemies. So I will go ahead and show you guys. I'll go ahead and run over and do one of these. Which one do I want to do? I don't really have the energy to claim one at the moment except for a 60, but I'll go ahead and fast travel over to this one so you guys can see what this looks like. Okay, so not every tacit field's gonna look the same. This one's instance-based. Not all of them are instance-based.
Souls sing in harmony to the Savior's victory! Ha! End blow! Ha! Light show of the finale!
But pretty much all you're gonna do in here is you're gonna go ahead and kill all these enemies.
Aim system unresponsive.
You should probably be rotating. I am not, because my character's built good enough where I don't have to clear something as simple as these, but rotating through your characters will make this a whole lot easier for you, which I'll go ahead and do now for the last enemy because they're a bit more tanky.
In war with time.
No, I didn't quite finish off my shorekeepers there. I thought I had it off. Okay, let me go ahead and hold that. Now swap over to Lene. Hold this. I'm sorry if I'm not talking very much during this. I don't normally do combat while recording. It's just not something I do very often. Because that's not the kind of content I make. Don't suck at it or anything, but I'm definitely not top tier. I would say I'm probably about average, maybe a little bit above. And then now that I have my third character here, I can go ahead and rotate back over to Amieth, and this will probably kill. Oh, I missed it. Okay, now she's dead. Now let me go ahead and swap back over to Amieth here.
Objective logged.
This is gonna look a little bit different on which skills and stuff you have, based on which character you have, of course. These are something that you get, so you don't necessarily have to log on every single day. These can go up to 480, so if you overcap, it will generate these green ones that 1-to-1 convert to normal wave plates. So I'm gonna go ahead and use 44 of them so I can do a 60 claim real quick. And then you'll get this screen here, where as you can see here, I got 4 echoes.
Here.
Now let me go ahead and leave this one so I can go ahead and show you the other method of getting echoes.
I'm a transform.
Okay, so back in here, you're gonna come down to tacit suppression again, or not tacit suppression. But this is where majority of people farm. This is probably the top method, but some sets cannot be farmed here. So this is where we get into the second method. This is for some later end 2.0 characters. Augusta, Yuno, Qian, Chisa are some of the main ones that you might hear the names of. There's also some Gust of Welkin stuff in here, or some earlier 1.0 characters want these nightmare versions of their bosses, because these are their best in slot 4 cost echoes. But let me go ahead and talk about your 3 cost echoes first here. So these are your 3 cost echoes. How these are done is you're going to go to the specific location, kind of like what you just did, but these can only be done once per day. They normally give you about as many echoes as a double claim. I mean, it kind of depends. This is a bit more RNG on how many echoes you get, but you're guaranteed to get some. And pretty much what it does is it's guaranteed to be this set that you can see here, this being Crown of Valor. What's this one called? This being Thread of Severed Fate. I can't read. Okay, but either way, I'm not going to show you this. It's going to look extremely similar to the other one, except you actually have to pick up the echoes. So you're going to see like the yellow hollowettes that you probably have seen before. You walk up to it and you pick it up with your like a bottle that you suck them into. I forget what they're called. Okay. Next, we are going to go ahead and talk about 4-cost echoes. Fair warning, it might yell at you for going in without energy. You do not need energy to get the echoes, though. You only need energy if you're going there to get the material. So some of them will go ahead and be in boss challenge here. Like this is Augusta's best in slot echo. This is Chuyan's best in slot echo. Um, and then Hyvasia is the best in slot echo for Lene. There are always adding more to this and the other bosses I'm about to show you, but this is general boss mats. But either way, you can go farm these anytime. You do not need to have energy to get their echoes. Same with this one. These ones are almost always instance though. Sometimes the other ones are not. These are your weekly boss mats. You want to make sure you're doing these every week because you can only do them 3 per week to get this material that you're going to need to upgrade your characters. But beyond that, the actual part that we're here for, a lot of these are best in slot 4-cost echoes. So like this is Cardathia's best in slot echo. This is Amieth's best in slot echo. This is Jinshi's best in slot echo down here. Just go ahead and look up on Games 8, as I said, and like I showed you earlier, it shows you the best main echo. Then go ahead and go through here and see if you have it unlocked yet, or a lot of times they'll have early access. That's up to you if you want to do those, or if you want to grind through the story to the point so you're not getting slightly spoiled on a boss you're going to encounter in the story. That's up to you. Next, we are going to go ahead and talk about how you tune, how you get the tuning materials. What are the tuning materials? What do you need to level up an echo? So let me go ahead and go in here, and then I'll go ahead and tune an echo to kind of show you guys.
A laser sword.
Let me go ahead and go to 1-cost echoes,
Cool,
filtered
right?
trailblazing star, because this is the character I'm looking at here. So fair warning, none of the echo that I'm about to upgrade, you probably shouldn't be. Or, well, actually, never mind. I do have an echo that I can actually upgrade in hopes of getting something not terrible. Because the first thing you want to prioritize on an echo, this is going to be heavily dependent on character, of course. For 3 costs, it's normally their attribute damage type. So, like, the character I'm doing this for is Amieth here. Amieth's fusion, so you want to prioritize fusion damage. This is always going to be better than attack, even though attack will also be gold. You're going to want the element of your character there. Next, you're going to want to prioritize on most characters crit rate, crit damage. If it's a support or sub DPS, energy regen is also quite important, but the stats are kind of specific to the character, because there's some characters that want more heavily specific stats or scale off weird stats, like Cardathia scales off HP, which is extremely odd. Most characters scale off of attack. So that is not all that great, but I'll just go ahead and do it a few more times here. What you're using is these tuners. So these come from tacit fields. Then the other thing you're using is XP here. These also come from tacit fields, or they also come from a lot of events. You will probably get an absorbent amount of these. Don't necessarily waste them all at once. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and upgrade this to 10 real quick. Okay, I'm not gonna continue with this because it didn't roll any of the stats that I look for in the first 2. I normally try to get a crit rate or crit damage in the first 2 if I want to keep rolling it. You don't necessarily have to be that strict with it, but that's what gets you the best echoes. As you can see here, though, I kept on rolling this one and I got lucky. I decided to risk it, but that doesn't always happen. This one, I got them both early, as you can see here, crit rate, crit damage, and then I got that roll, and then I got the attack and energy regen. And then for this one, the crit rate rolled as my third, crit damage rolled as my fourth, but I decided to risk it because I got the energy regen as my first. Technically, I should probably go to 15 on this since I got a gold, but I don't think it's going to be able to beat anything I already have. Okay, it absolutely did not. Okay, next we're going to go talk about what you can do if, let's say you just did what I just did. You upgraded an Echo. It didn't get very good stats for you. Can you get any materials back from that to go and upgrade Echoes again? Yes, you can. So there is two different things that are good for getting rid of bad Echoes. So if it's a upgraded bad Echo, like what that was, you go ahead and scroll down the first page, you hit the delete button there, and this isn't the exact Echo I showed you, but this is an Echo that I marked as being bad because the only thing it rolled that was any good was crit damage. That's not enough for me to want to keep that Echo. So you go ahead and hit remove. This is going to give you back XP and tuners. I'm not sure what the exact percentage of this is, but it does go up and down based on the level. It'll give you more back. It's not going to be 1-to-1, but there's that. And then now let me go ahead and exit this. Other thing that you're going to want to have on, I'm pretty sure it's in Databank. I highly recommend turning on their filters. Where are they at here? It's this right here down here, all the way at the bottom. So I recommend just tossing on their suggested plans. This will make your life a whole lot easier. There's a specific Echo set you want to customize. Go ahead and do that, but I don't recommend going through all of these and customizing yourself. The suggested plans are already pretty good. Next, we're going to go ahead and talk about not data modification, the merging. Okay, so this is newer. Pretty much what this allows you to do is pick any set you want. So in this case, I'll go ahead and do Where's Rejuvenating Glow at? This is the healer set in the game. These are unupgraded Echoes, but they had bad stats, bad main stats. And there's not really a way to fix that except for one thing we'll talk about later. But I didn't want to use that on 90% of these because you don't get them all that often. So we'll talk about those in a second. But as you can see here, every 10 or so you do is going to give you 2 Echoes. So every 5 goes into 1 Echo that's guaranteed to be of the set that you're after. So I'm going to go ahead and do all 50 of these real quick because I haven't done any of them yet this week. You don't necessarily have to do all 50 at once. But what this does is it gives you new Echoes. And as you can see here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 of these are Echoes that have decent stats for the given set. Now, this is going to change, kind of depend on the character, but normally the set recommendations are going to be the recommendations you want for the character. But that can be slightly different if you're on a whack character. There is a few. Next, we're going to go ahead and talk about modifiers. These can be gotten from events or the rebate store is the way a lot of players get these. You can buy them for Rainbow Coral. They're down here. You can also buy transducers for Rainbow Coral down here. This lets you reroll one of the stats on an Echo to try and get it perfect. I do not think it's worth 30 of these, but that's up to you. And then modifiers are 6, but that's not normally where players get them. They normally get them on the patch resetting rebates. If we have 7 standard pulls, 7 of the Forging Tides, but the important part for this is the modifiers. What these allow you to do is, I'm not going to use one of these, but they allow you to change the main stat to a main stat that you need. The most common use of these is changing your forecasts main stats, because these are the hardest to get the specific main stat you want, because you don't get them in bulk like you do in tacit fields. They take the longest to farm. But you can kind of use them on whatever, just use them sparingly because you can only get so many of them. They are a lot more limited than your other options. Okay, I think that covers just about everything I think is necessary for echo farming. If there's anything else that you guys have questions about, feel free to leave them in the comments. I will answer as many of your guys' questions as I can, or I will do a little bit of research if I need to answer some of your guys' questions if I don't already know the answer. But yeah, like and subscribe if you liked the video. Have a good day. Bye.